was so afraid they would find me. A large burly man burst into the room and began searching around in a fury. I cringed in horror as I saw the blade of a kitchen knife glint faintly in the faded moonlight. The snow fell in dense sheets outside, the frigid air trying to break its way in and squeeze the life out of this ghastly house I now found myself trapped in. The blinding overhead light suddenly flicked on, and I brought my hands in close to my chest, curling up into a panicked ball. I stifled my breathing and tried to lie absolutely still. I watched the man's thick, tree trunk-like legs stomp past. They were so close that I could read the writing on his shoes and smell the horrible stench of his feet. I heard him shuffle frantically through the covers of the bed above me. My heart was beating erratically. There were limbs lying beside me, faintly visible in the dark of underneath the bed. I could see the spinal cord of a child inches from my head. The flesh had been peeled away, many of the ribs torn off and lying scattered all around me. The man suddenly screamed at the top of his lungs, "Where are you?" I couldn't do anything but lie still and pray. Pray that he would just go away. Pray that he couldn't see me under here. I watched the man tear across the room, his breathing heavy. He practically tore the closet door off as he slammed it open and shouted once again, even louder now, "Where are you?" I swallowed hard. My hands began to shake and I tried to hold them together, trying to keep myself from fainting with terror. "Hello?" the man shrieked, making the walls of the house shake. "Answer me!" I couldn't breathe. I was so scared. The horrific stench of the limbs around me was overpowering. The flayed heaps coated in steaming hot blood. What if they could smell it too? No sooner did I think this than I suddenly saw the man's knee hit the floor. My eyes went wide and my heart stopped. His other knee quickly followed, and I could no longer contain my panic. He was kneeling down. He was going to look under the bed. I watched the knife clank against the floor as his hands pressed against the ground, and he began to lower himself down. I had nowhere to run. He would find me for sure. Abruptly, however, seconds before his face came into view, another voice rang out. A female's. "The window is slightly ajar," she cried. "Maybe he went outside." The man suddenly stopped. His hair was draping down into plain view. Just a few more inches and he would have seen me for sure. Thankfully, however, upon hearing the girl, he quickly shot up to his feet. I heard the sound of shuffling and then the sound of his massive body clambering out the window. I listened to his heavy footsteps crunch in the snow and then slowly grow fainter and fainter. "Where are you?" I heard his cry ring out from somewhere distant now. I listened to the female's footsteps frantically run out of the room. My heart lurched in an adrenaline rush, and I knew that now was my chance. I began to crawl out from under the bed, shoving my way past entrails and skinned limbs. Suddenly, however, I heard the female's voice again. She had run back into the room, and from under the bed, I could see that she was carrying a phone now, pressed tightly up to her ear. Her face was in absolute panic, tears streaming down her pale skin. "Yes, hello?" she cried into the device. "Operator, you have to send someone. Send everyone!" Trying to calm her blind terror, she sat down on the bed and took several deep breaths, her legs coming to rest inches from my face, draping down from the mattress. "We can't find my son," the girl cried into the phone. "We heard him screaming from his room, but by the time we got there, he was nowhere to be found. We think he may have been abducted." I was fed up with all of this. I slashed my hand forwards and my razor-sharp claws cleaved the girl's ankle to shreds as I gripped her and yanked back with all of my strength. Her head slammed against the floor with a brutal crack as I pulled her under. This time, I wasn't as foolish. Unlike their child, I didn't give her the chance to scream, and her trachea flopped uselessly into the open as I tore out her throat.